Good evening. This your girl Sarah B. I know it's been a while since my last video, which is my introduction. But today I want to talk about how us being raised impacts our parenting today with our own kids. And I have a special guest, Sanaya Bradley. Welcome. So I want to talk about this because when it comes to parenting, what is our first introduction to parenting, right? When we have our own kids, who out there reading books? Who out there reading videos about how to become the perfect parent or the good parent, right? And we all know the foundation of parenting is how we were raised and some of the things, the teachings that we actually use in our own parenting lives, right? With our own kids. So with that being said, I want to kind of briefly talk about mine, but I want you to kind of think about how some things that you had in your childhood of you being parented that you feel like is good to bring into your parenting style now. And what are some things that you possibly brought that could, have changes to have a better positive outcome, right? Because like I said before, when it comes to parenting, no matter what style you choose, it all comes with bullshit that you will have to deal with. It's either you're going to have a kid that depends on their mother and father continues, so they be in college asking you to do their laundry, cook for them, or you have the super independent ones, the ones who may not call you all the time, but they love you. Or you may have the ones who stay in trouble. I mean, etc. It goes on and on and on, right? But that stems from how we were raised. And for me, I am the baby of 4. I grew up in a 2-parent household up to the age of 14. Me and my brothers basically were in the house together. I have an older sibling. Unfortunately, she was kind of raised in another household, which was at my grandmother's house. But that's not my story to tell, so mind your business. With that being said, my sister partially raised me just because I always want to be around my sister. My sister didn't mind me being around. She took me everywhere. So she's kind of like a second mom to me. My grandmother, I was always at her house until she passed. So, different styles of, being raised per se, not just from my parents. My sister showed me the love that I really couldn't get from my mom just because she was a working parent. My dad worked. They both worked at the post office. She had to come home and cook for, a whole family. Anytime we had a question or we had an issue, who we run to? Mama. Because my dad was doing his own thing, or he'll say, go ask your mama. So with that particular stress level, she wasn't able to pour in us the way that we may have wanted. She did pour it to us in a different type of way where it was tough love. So when it comes to friendships, relationships, for me, I didn't see that love that my parents showed each other because they didn't really show that around us. I didn't really see interactions to say, oh, that's how you be a good friend. Just because in my culture, per se, we couldn't be around my parents while they had company like that. I need to get it up out their face. So go ahead and ask your question then. Can I go outside? Or can I go to so-and-so house? And the answer's probably going to be yes, because she wants you out her hair while she got her company around. So, and that's how it was for me. I wasn't allowed to have a lot of people spend over at my house. I can literally count on one hand how many people stayed at my house. I can probably count on only 2 hands on how many people I stayed at their houses. Just because with my mom, she needed to know who they were, where they stay. And if that last name didn't equate of, oh, they have the same upbringing as me, I wasn't going, period. So that's just how my mom was. Again, my dad was there, but he wasn't really the decision maker in my house when it came to parenting me and my brothers. So I saw my brothers be able to do a whole bunch of stuff than me just because my brothers are a year apart. So where one was, the other was And me being the youngest, which is basically 6 years apart from my oldest brother, I was kind of a loner, really. Once they got out the house, I couldn't do a lot of stuff. I want to go to school parties. It was sporadic when I went. Even when I was working and, helping paying bills, I had a 10 o'clock curfew. I feel like I should be able to stay out a little bit more. I want to have some type of adult responsibility or some adult privileges, seeming that I'm helping, right? But, with that being said, the person that I am today, I'm learning how to love a lot differently. I'm a tough love type of person where I don't depend on other people. And sometimes with the people that you're around, someone to be able to depend on you feels good. Even though, yeah, definitely you can't do it yourself. At the same time, it's good to make somebody feel as if they have a purpose or they're wanted to where you don't have to do it yourself. So I am learning and I am growing in that aspect. However, my foundation wasn't that. So when it comes to my oldest, his name is Jalen. He is 12 years old. And when it came to him, if he did something wrong, on site, we handing out ass whoopings like tickets, honey. Like, we finna nip this in the bud now, because that's how I was raised. I couldn't say huh. I couldn't say what. I couldn't roll my eyes. Like, I didn't have expression like that. So that's what kind of I knew. And I feel as if the type of adult that I became, like, oh, I came out pretty all right. But now that I've become older and understanding mental health, because mental health is not something that we understand like off the bat. Like, some people don't learn mental health until they're way older than I am. So now I'm understanding mental health and how the things that we experience and the trauma that we experience impacts how we pour into other people or how we react to certain things when it comes to triggers. So as a parent, we have to remain agile. And when I say that, how we used to grow up and how these kids grow up is night and day. We didn't have phones like that until we got the Nokias, where we was changing faces, the beepers. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't have all what we have. We had the AOL, the dial-up internet, the Yahoo chat rooms, Black Planet. You know what I mean? But we wasn't on there like faithfully. We had those things, but we still wanted to be in the streets. We still wanted to go out. We wanted to have fun. Some of these kids don't understand that TikTok and Snapchat is their fun. And as parents, we say, oh, we didn't do that when we was kids. We were outside, we was mean, we was being sociable. But being agile is understanding that maybe social media is their sociable. Social media and doing TikTok videos is their thing. And we have to understand that as parents, and that, hey, I can show you something different. Now, if you do it, that's on you. If you don't, that's okay. However, I have to show you consequences of certain things, because with social media and being on your phone all day cause people to procrastinate a lot or be extremely lazy or not wanting to learn new things in person per se, like getting your ass in the kitchen or cleaning my bathroom like you supposed to, or cleaning your room like you supposed to opposed to, they go to YouTube and TikTok. They watching people play games. They ain't watching nobody else cooking. They ain't watching nobody else cleaning the aspects of life. Whereas for us, we was taught that. Our parents said, I want my living room clean. I want my kitchen clean. Your room better be clean before I come home for 4 o'clock. And what time we start doing there? About 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock? Like right at the nick of time before your parents get home. But these kids, then, we know how we felt when we were going through it. And of course, as parents, we're like, I want my kids to be able to live better than me. You know what I'm saying? And at that point, some of our kids become privileged. And having privileged kids come with bullshit. And that bullshit is they become lazy. They don't want to learn how to cook. They want to what they say, I want to be a kid. They want to be a kid, and then when it's time to be an adult, they don't know how. So now it's forcing a parent to still have a adult in their house. And I feel as if with that, my parents, like at 18, you gone. At 17, I was gone at my parents' house. But I feel as if that's too soon, in my opinion, just because, we want a balance. We want our children to be kids. However, we want our kids to be able to, be self-sufficient and teaching them life lessons to where they're able to use those or be able to refer back to them when needed. So all that to say, we have to be careful what we bring from our past to our present. We have to be able to pour into our kids. We have to be able to learn what they're into to be able to relate and come up with another game plan. And that's just parenting. That's my opinion. Let me say that. That's my opinion. And that's coming from a person where extremely strict. If my kid asks me, can so-and-so come spend the night? Who's so-and-so? I need to talk to their mama. When they leaving? How they getting here? How they getting back? I'm asking all these questions. Some of these kids, they don't even want you to ask questions. They want you to either answer yes or no. And that's one of the things that I actually took from my childhood, that, I do want to know where my kids, what environment that they're in, period. Now, granted, I can't be around my kids all day. They're going to do, per se, fuck shit. They are. They're going to make mistakes, period. That's just the way it is. But me as a parent, the fact that I know that they are, let me put you on game. Come talk to me. Am I going to be disappointed on some things? Absolutely. But I'm not going to bash your head in. I'm going to put you on game because I want you to be able to be successful. I want you to be able to move with grace. I don't want you to be one of those kids where, ooh, she messy or he a dog. Like, I don't want you to be that. I want you to be able to relate to other people, because treat other people where you want to be treated. You never know when you need to cross that bridge. So for my individuals who don't have kids, don't allow your past to negatively affect your future children. It's okay to take some of those upbringings, but just know those upbringings may not apply to today's society. Look at the music. I can't understand half of the shit they say. I got to read the lyrics. And if I don't read the lyrics, I'm completely lost. I'm like, I love the beat. Look at the FaceTime on these phones. We didn't have that. So, I mean, it's just a lot of things that are totally different that we can't do the same. We can't allow our kids to just go outside and just roam around, because you don't know who's going to snatch their ass up. And then where I'm from good old Bogalusa, Louisiana, it was a village, truly. Messy as hell. But guess what? If I wouldn't even cuss around an adult, because if I did, 9 times out of 10, I probably got popped against the head then and there. And then when I got home, I would have got my ass whooped. These days, these kids don't even give a damn. They'll cuss around you like we equal, like we grown. They make 13, 12. They don't care. What you gonna do to them? Because guess what? They gonna tell mom and daddy finna try to get all up in your face, try to whoop your ass too. Not knowing your child disrespectful as hell. But that's my opinion. Some parents feel like that's open expression for their kid. How can I tell my kid not to curse when I do it? I'm just saying. I just found out my son, he's cussing in text message. Now I have never heard him curse before. But in his text messages, because I monitor his phone, he cussing. Have I got into his ass? Absolutely not. Because he's not disrespecting me. He know not to say that around me. So how can I get mad at him for doing something that I have not been the greatest leader of? However, I understand that, again, kids gonna be kids. I started cussing at 5 years old. Ask about me. I was bad as hell with this mouth. So, I mean, who am I to just slam the hammer down? And these are some of the things that we have to ask ourselves as parents. Like, what can I do different? How can I learn about this society so I can teach my kids how to move? The big thing now is working from home. Teach a balance. Teach a mental break, because we all need it. We in a computer all day. And then once you get out your computer, you in your phone. Let's teach our kids that once you get off that computer, especially if you got a family, it's family time. Spend quality time. Learn your kids. Quality time with your mate. Like, those are the type of things that we need to talk about, because if you're always in a computer, always in your phone, a tablet, guess what? That's where you're going to be. And then you're going to start drifting apart with friendships, with your marriage, with your relationship. Like, I'm not saying it because this is what I think. This is what I know. Anybody who knows Sarah B, I think I'm part Nigerian. And for any Nigerian watching this video, that is a compliment. Y'all some hustlers. Like, I'm a hustler till the day until I make it. Until I am financially free to where I can finally live. I partially live now. I grind to have a lifestyle that I want. And I'm grinding even harder to have the dream that I want. When I say I'm trying to manifest that shit, that's what I'm doing. But this is the new norm for society now, working from home. Did we have that when we were kids? No. What was the first thing? Go to McDonald's, Burger King, Pizza Hut, Wendy's. Like, there's all kinds of different jobs that we did to where we couldn't work from home. So this is the thing. Even some, like my son, he wants to be a YouTuber. Totally against it, just because he has too much FaceTime in games and on his phone as it is. But guess what? YouTubers make money. So we can't say, is that going to make you money? Yeah, it is. So now what? Making TikTok videos. I'm so sick of you making these TikTok videos, but they're making money. Some going to catch. Some going to stick to the wall, as my husband say. So some of the things that we kind of, I ain't going to say completely frown upon, we just have to create a balance. It's making them money, though. They got they're multi-millionaires, and they started from Facebook. They started from Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Look what I'm doing. It's not necessarily for money. It's just, this is my journal to where I can talk about some of the things that's on my mind, and hopefully it resonates with somebody else. Because we all go through some bullshit. We all go through some things to where it's like, is somebody else going through this? That's all that is. And for today's episode, it's just more of a foundation, identifying your parenting foundation. Once you identify that, that will help you along the way to figure out, as a parent, what are some of the things that I can do in a more positive light. I mean, positivity is everything. At the same time, it's a balance. We got to teach our kids it's good to be positive. However, sometimes somebody need to probably catch some hands. Or learning how to teach your kids to say fuck you instead of saying it out loud. Because trust me, my face says it all. I don't even have to say nothing. It's bad. But I'm working on it. I really am. Sometimes I really go to my face because I want to say it so bad. So I just use my face so you know what I said, but I didn't actually say it. So, homework. Think about your past, your childhood, your upbringing. What are some of the things that is a positive outset for yourself that didn't leave trauma, or to where you feel as if you may be broken inside just a tad bit? What can you improve then? Or what are some of the positive things that you went through that you want to, pour into your kids? Because that is huge on your journey as a parent. Because as many books that are out there, these are everybody's different experiences. That's their perspective. Like this journal that I'm doing, this is my perspective. I'm not saying this is the route that you need to take. This is my journey. And 10 years from now, if God willing, I'm still alive to see my kids grow, fall, jump, crawl. Guess what? It's going to be a journey. This world is forever evolving. something that's always new. We can't even teach our kids how to turn the ignition in a car, because how many cars still out there you turn the ignition? It's a push start. Put your foot on the brake, push the button. We didn't have that. How many manual transmissions are out there? Not a lot. Make teaching a little easier for us. Now we're finna go to the electric cars. How many cars you done plugged up into a charging station? I ain't plugged in one. I got to learn that too, so I can teach my kids. I got to teach my kids crypto. I got to teach my kids NFTs. I got to teach my kids a lot of things that I have to teach myself. So I can't be extra hard on them when I got to go through the shit too. So parents, stop being so hard on yourself. Stop trying to keep your kids in 1998. It's 2022 going to 2023. Unfortunately, we have to learn. We have to learn how to maneuver. How can we make sure that we learn what we need to learn to pour into our kids so they can be successful out in this world, be able to move, and teach them that failure is not always a stopping point. Failure is actually probably another opportunity for you to understand what the next move needs to be. You okay, honey bunny? So parents, pat yourself on the back so how far that you have came so far. And still understand that you are still learning, and that learning process never fails. Technology is forever evolving, and if you're anybody other in the IT world, you're forever learning something different. You're researching different AI capabilities, different coding capabilities, no code, low code, all that stuff. That wasn't there in 1998 at all. So what makes you think parenting is any different? This shit is a job. For stay-at-home moms and stay-at-home dads, I commend y'all. I can't do this shit on a full-time basis. Part-time, absolutely. Full-time, no, ma'am, no, sir. If I had to do this full-time, I'd be driving the powder house to my husband. I ain't lying. I shit you not. So just know, this parenting is a journey. No matter how many kids you have. This right here is a new generation. I got to learn a whole bunch of new stuff. Then my other child. Then, our 17-year-old, our 18-year-old, 23-year-old. They all in different eras, and we all have to learn something different. So just know that. Keep that as key. So again, homework. Write down the things that was a negative impact on you with the parenting that you received, in a positive aspect, and look at the negative and see what are things that you can improve. And I say that because we are a creature of habit. We were taught that. So there's going to be things that trigger us that will revert us back to what we experienced in the past. And instead of doing what we received, learn how to improve that. So you're not completely taking away your identity, or trying to fight against, your mental aspect, but learning how can you improve that, because it can help somebody else. So I love you guys. I hope you have a great evening. Until next time, peace, love, and fish grease.